Brent, all right, much respect. You gonna be speaking for Arizona?
Yes, sir, yeah.
All right.
We got a badass team with some cars for you, bro. You're gonna have your hands full.
You might know Ryan Martin as the quiet powerhouse from Street Outlaws, always calm behind the wheel and deadly fast on the track.
Good job, Ryan. What's wrong, man?
Oh, they spooled me 3 times before you got there. They told me to pull in. They said, you ain't gonna make it. I know.
But behind the fire-breathing Camaros and championship wins lies a life few truly know. What fuels his drive when the cameras stop rolling? What's the truth behind the rumors that left fans shaken? And how did a man from a small-town garage become one of the most respected names in street racing? It's no secret that Street Outlaws has become a household name among car lovers and fans of fast-paced motorsport TV. Over the years, the show has introduced viewers to a range of racers, each with their own story, drive, and reasons for stepping into the world of street racing. One of those racers is Ryan Martin, a name now closely associated with skill, consistency, and a surprising journey into the world of high-speed racing. Before Ryan ever sat behind the wheel of a race car on national television, his life was far from the spotlight. Born on September 5, 1973 in Ohio, USA, Ryan didn't grow up surrounded by engines and racetracks. In fact, his early interests were a far cry from the high-octane lifestyle he later embraced. As a young boy, he spent most of his time painting, drawing, and taking photographs. These creative hobbies gave him a calm and thoughtful view of the world, qualities that in time would serve him well in a sport known for chaos and unpredictability. Ryan's childhood was simple. He lived in a quiet environment with little connection to racing. However, one person who had a big influence on him from an early age was his mother. She raised him to be patient, level-headed, and respectful, traits that stood out once he entered the competitive world of street racing. Ryan has often spoken about how her steady and supportive presence shaped the man he would later become. While she may not have known it at the time, she was helping to lay the groundwork for someone who would eventually face both physical danger and intense pressure, and do it all with calm determination. At some point during his early years, Ryan's family moved from Ohio to Oklahoma. This move, although not immediately significant, would turn out to be a defining moment in his life. Oklahoma had a far more vibrant street racing scene than Ryan was used to. It wasn't long before he noticed the roar of engines, the custom builds parked at corners, and the buzz around late-night races. But Ryan didn't dive in right away. At first, he was just curious, intrigued by the speed and the culture around it. In high school, this interest started to grow. He began learning about cars, watching others race, and eventually started thinking seriously about getting involved himself. His first car wasn't anything particularly special. It was a 9.5-liter Mustang that had already been modified before he got it. Still, for a teenager just starting out, it was more than enough. That car sparked something inside him. Not just a love for speed, but a desire to understand how things worked. Instead of only wanting to drive fast, Ryan wanted to know what made a car powerful, how engines behaved, and how to make a vehicle perform better. That mindset led him to eventually open his own garage, called B&R Performance. Located in Oklahoma City, the shop focused on improving the performance of cars, especially those meant for racing. Unlike standard repair garages, B&R specialized in tuning, custom builds, and upgrades. It quickly developed a reputation for producing cars that weren't just fast, but also reliable under pressure. The name B&R comes from Ryan's partnership with Billy Hayes, a close associate who shared his passion for performance cars. Together, they built the business from the ground up, slowly becoming a respected name in the local car community. Their work didn't go unnoticed. Over time, well-known street racers like Jackie Knox and Freakin' Rican started bringing their vehicles to B&R for upgrades and fine-tuning. For Ryan, this was more than just a business. It was a training ground. Every car he worked on added to his knowledge. Every problem he solved taught him something new. He wasn't just improving other people's cars. He was also preparing himself, without even realizing it, for the day he'd be the one out on the track. Watching successful racers come into the shop and talk about their experiences, gave Ryan a front-row seat to the world of street racing. He saw the risks, the rewards, and the thrill that came with it. Eventually, that pull became too strong to resist. He wanted to do more than fix cars. He wanted to race them. By the time Street Outlaws was gaining popularity, Ryan had already built a solid foundation. He wasn't yet part of the show, but in the racing community, he was someone people knew. His cars were reliable, his builds were respected, and his knowledge ran deep. This background gave him a clear edge once he decided to step behind the wheel and take on racing full-time. Street Outlaws itself started in a very different way from most mainstream racing shows. Premiering in 2013, the show focused on the underground street racing scene in Oklahoma. At first, it was more of a documentary-style look at a group of racers trying to prove who had the fastest car. But it quickly became something much bigger. Viewers weren't just watching cars go fast. They were being pulled into the lives of the racers, the rivalries, the tension, the camaraderie, and everything that came with it. What helped Street Outlaws stand out was how raw and unfiltered it felt. These weren't professional drivers in million-dollar machines. These were everyday people who had poured their time, money, and energy into their cars, taking massive risks each time they hit the road. The show didn't shy away from the dangers of illegal racing, but it also showed the strong sense of community among the racers. It didn't take long before spin-offs were created, like Street Outlaws, No Prep Kings, which took the racing off the streets and into more controlled but still unpredictable settings. These races took place on tracks that hadn't been prepped, meaning no rubber laid down, no traction compound, just raw pavement. The drivers had no real chance to test or adjust, which made each race more about instinct, quick reactions, and car control. As the franchise expanded, it became clear that viewers weren't just there for the cars, they were there for the personalities. That's when Ryan Martin truly started to rise in the public eye. When he officially joined Street Outlaws, he brought something different. He wasn't loud or showy. He was focused, skilled, and driven by a genuine love for cars and competition. Fans quickly noticed that behind his quiet demeanor was a racer with incredible technical skill and a sharp eye for performance. What made Ryan's rise so compelling wasn't that he came out of nowhere, but that he had quietly built his way up over many years. He wasn't a celebrity looking for attention. He was a man who had spent his life learning, working, and improving, and now he had a platform to show what he could really do. His approach to racing reflected that background. He was known for being methodical and detail-oriented. His cars were always tuned to perfection, and he rarely made reckless decisions on the track. That kind of discipline earned him both respect and results. Ryan didn't just fall into the world of street racing overnight. Before ever making a name for himself in front of the cameras, he was already quietly establishing a solid reputation in Oklahoma's local car scene. His shop, B&R Performance, was gaining respect among racers, not just for the quality of work it produced, but for Ryan's hands-on knowledge of high-performance builds. His ability to diagnose problems, fine-tune engines, and enhance a car's overall output put him on the radar of serious racers in the region. But even though he was surrounded by the racing world, tuning cars for some of the best in the game, Ryan wasn't yet competing himself. In those early years, he stayed in the background, carefully observing and learning. His garage was a testing ground, a classroom, and a workshop all rolled into one. It gave him a unique advantage. While many racers focus solely on driving, Ryan had a deep understanding of the mechanical side, the science of speed, and what truly made a car race-ready. Eventually, that technical knowledge, combined with his growing curiosity, pushed him to go further. He didn't want to just build fast cars for other people. He wanted to get behind the wheel and see what he could do. The idea of becoming a racer started to grow into something more serious, and Ryan decided it was time to stop being the man behind the scenes and step into the spotlight. Still, making the transition wasn't simple. Ryan had to make a choice: continue to run a successful business that was already doing well, or risk it all by entering the unpredictable and highly competitive world of racing. It was a big decision. Racing brought with it financial costs, physical danger, and the pressure to perform. But Ryan wasn't the kind of person to back away from a challenge. He knew the risks, and he took them anyway. His early races weren't televised. They took place on back roads, at night, surrounded by small groups of passionate racers. These races were raw and real, and they tested everything. From how well a car handled under stress to how a driver reacted when something went wrong, every moment on the street was unpredictable. But Ryan thrived in that unpredictability. His calm nature helped him stay focused, and his experience in the garage meant his car was always ready for whatever came next. As he continued to race, his name started to spread. People noticed not just his performance, but how well prepared he was. He wasn't flashy or loud, but he got results. That reputation caught the attention of producers and racers connected to the hit show Street Outlaws, which by that time had already built a massive fan base and was looking for new talent. When Ryan was invited to join the show, he saw it as an opportunity, not just for fame, but to challenge himself against the best and see where he truly stood. From the moment he joined Street Outlaws, he was a bit of an outsider. Many of the other racers had been part of the show for years, building a strong presence and loyal following. Ryan, despite his experience and technical skill, had to prove himself on a new stage. At first, there was some hesitation among the more established cast members. Some were unsure about this newcomer who had suddenly appeared with a powerful car and a reputation for precision. The early episodes featuring Ryan often highlighted this tension. While he was respectful and focused, others were protective of their positions, especially in the tight-knit 405 group that had become the core of the show. One of the biggest rivalries Ryan faced was with Daddy Dave, one of the original and most well-known racers on the show. At one point, Ryan's rapid climb up the rankings pushed Dave out of the #1 spot, a position that held not just bragging rights, but real weight in the street racing community. While some fans attributed Ryan's rise to the strength of his car and his business background, others pointed out that Daddy Dave had suffered a serious crash earlier in the season, which affected his ability to compete at his usual level. Regardless of how it happened, the shift in rankings created tension. But Ryan stayed focused. He didn't get drawn into drama or on-screen rivalries. Instead, he let his driving speak for itself. His calm under pressure, consistent performance, and no-nonsense attitude quickly won over viewers who respected his serious approach to the sport. That doesn't mean things were always smooth. One of the most talked-about moments in Ryan's early time on Street Outlaws came during the third round of the No Prep Kings Invitational Series at Palm Beach International Raceway. The race between Ryan and Daddy Dave was highly anticipated, and fans were eager to see who would come out on top. At the end of the race, it was initially announced that Daddy Dave had won. His supporters celebrated, and it seemed like Ryan had been defeated. But Ryan's car, as usual, was equipped with a 360-degree camera, a decision that turned out to be crucial. When the footage was reviewed, it clearly showed that Ryan had crossed the finish line ahead by a full car length. The officials eventually overturned the original result, confirming Ryan as the true winner. This kind of moment defined Ryan's reputation. He wasn't confrontational, but he stood up for himself when it mattered. He trusted in facts, evidence, and the systems he had put in place. His approach to racing wasn't just about speed. It was about preparation, planning, and doing things the right way. Of course, success also came with pushback. Soon after that victory, some racers, unhappy with the result, arranged for Ryan to face off against another tough competitor, Chuck, only an hour later. It was an unusual move, and it forced Ryan to race again before he had time to fully recover or prepare. Chuck won that match, and Ryan was knocked back down in the rankings. But setbacks didn't slow him down. If anything, they motivated him to keep working. Time and again, Ryan returned to his garage, studied his data, and made adjustments. He understood that racing was a long game. You win some, you lose some. But the real test is how you respond after a loss. As his profile grew, Ryan also began using his new platform to support B&R performance. The business remained active and successful, with more racers and car enthusiasts seeking out his expertise. His time on television helped drive interest in the shop, but its core strength remained the same: a dedication to quality and a deep love for the machines. Over time, Ryan's place on Street Outlaws became more secure. He earned his spot through results, not personality. Fans appreciated his no-drama approach, while fellow racers, even those who had once doubted him, began to respect what he brought to the table. While Ryan has become known for his calm approach and careful preparation, even the most skilled racers can't control everything that happens on the track. The truth is, racing, especially the kind featured on shows like No Prep Kings, is unpredictable by nature. The tracks are often unprepared, meaning no added grip or special treatments, and that leaves racers with little room for error. Unlike professional circuits where conditions are tightly controlled, street-style tracks often mimic the rough, uneven feel of real roads. This makes races more exciting, but also more dangerous. Ryan has never been one to take unnecessary risks. He spends hours fine-tuning his vehicles, double-checking every part, and working closely with his team to make sure nothing is overlooked. But even with all that preparation, things can still go wrong. One of the most serious reminders of that came in 2022, when Ryan experienced a terrifying crash during a major race. In the days leading up to the event, his car, the well-known Fireball Camaro, had started showing signs of mechanical trouble. Ryan and his crew worked through the night trying to diagnose the issue and fix whatever they could. They examined the car from top to bottom, hoping they'd done enough to keep it competitive and safe. But despite their efforts, the Fireball Camaro wasn't performing perfectly when it lined up at the start line. As the race began, everything seemed to be going normally. Ryan was focused, ready to fight for another win. But within seconds, something went horribly wrong. The Fireball suddenly burst into flames while still traveling at a high speed. Pieces of the car were sent flying across the track as the crowd looked on in shock. For a moment, it wasn't clear whether Ryan had made it out safely. Thankfully, he had. The car's built-in safety features, combined with the fast response of the track crew, allowed him to escape with only minor injuries. But the crash was a close call. A reminder that even for experienced drivers with top-of-the-line equipment, danger is always present. Later, Ryan described the experience as feeling like a massive explosion. He said it all happened so quickly that he didn't have time to think, only react. Inside the cockpit, debris was flying everywhere, and he was lucky that none of it struck him directly. The damage to the car was extensive. Fireball was practically destroyed. Even one of the cameras mounted inside the vehicle was broken during the crash, making it impossible to review exactly what went wrong in full detail. When people looked at what was left of the car, the reality of the situation hit hard. Metal had been shredded, panels were torn apart, and there were holes punched clean through the frame. It was a miracle Ryan walked away unharmed. But this wasn't an isolated incident. In another race, Ryan was involved in a dangerous collision with fellow racer Lizzie Musey. During a high-speed run, Lizzie lost control of her vehicle just as they reached the finish line. Her car veered into Ryan's lane, and the two vehicles clipped each other. At those speeds, even a small mistake can lead to disaster. Fortunately, both drivers managed to recover control, and the crash didn't turn into something worse. But it was another reminder of how fine the line is between an exciting finish and a tragic accident. Afterwards, Ryan spoke about how quickly things could have gone differently. He acknowledged that if either of them had reacted a second too late, the outcome might have been much more serious. It's this level of risk that all street racers understand and accept when they step into the car. No matter how many precautions you take, racing at high speed will always carry danger. Beyond the track, the wider world of street racing has faced increasing scrutiny. While shows like Street Outlaws have helped bring it into the mainstream, illegal street racing, the kind that happens on public roads without safety gear or emergency response teams, remains a major problem. These races often happen late at night, with very little warning or planning. They might take place in industrial areas, on empty highways, or in abandoned car parks. And unlike the controlled conditions of a televised race, these events usually lack even the most basic safety measures. Many racers modify their vehicles to be as light and fast as possible, removing seats, airbags, or structural support to shave off extra weight. They add high-powered engines, specialized tires, and turbochargers, all in the name of speed. But these changes can also make the cars harder to control. One mistake, one slippery patch of road, or one unexpected obstacle can lead to a devastating crash. Worse still, it's not just the racers who are at risk. Because these races take place on public roads, innocent people, drivers, cyclists, or pedestrians, can get caught in the chaos. There have been numerous reports over the years of bystanders being injured or killed because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. These tragedies highlight just how dangerous street racing can be when it's done outside of regulated environments. For someone like Ryan, who values safety and preparation, these illegal races represent the darker side of the sport. While he understands the thrill that draws people to race, he's also seen firsthand what can go wrong. His own experiences, both on and off the screen, have shown how important it is to take safety seriously, from wearing the right gear to racing only in controlled settings. Social media has played a big role in the rising popularity of illegal street racing. Clips of fast cars, close finishes, and high-risk stunts often go viral online. But what these videos don't show is the aftermath. The wrecked cars, the hospital visits, and the lives that can be changed in a split second. Some racers even stream their events live, seeking fame without fully grasping the risks they're taking or encouraging in others. Many in the racing community, including professionals like Ryan, believe that opening more legal racing venues could help reduce the number of illegal events. Proper tracks with safety teams, medical staff, and clear rules give racers a place to compete without putting themselves or others in unnecessary danger. Events like No Prep Kings are already proving that it's possible to have exciting, unpredictable racing without sacrificing safety. Despite everything he's been through, the crashes, the close calls, and the pressure, Ryan Martin hasn't stepped away from the sport. If anything, he's leaned further into it. Not long after the Fireball crash, he was already back in the garage, working on repairs and preparing for the next race. That kind of determination is what separates the good from the great. He doesn't ignore the risks, he respects them. And that respect is what has kept him not just competitive, but alive. Away from the racing scene, Ryan leads a quieter, more grounded life. While his days are often packed with car builds, racing prep, and managing his business, he's also deeply committed to his family. He's in a long-term relationship with Cherish Casey, a woman who has stood by him through his racing highs and lows. The two first met on a blind date, and what started as a casual introduction quickly developed into a meaningful partnership. Unlike the high-energy environment of the racing world, their relationship grew quietly, built on mutual respect and a shared appreciation for the simple things in life. Together, Ryan and Cherish have a son named Dax. Becoming a father added a new dimension to Ryan's life. In interviews and occasional social media posts, he's expressed how much his son means to him, describing Dax as one of his biggest joys and motivations. While he keeps most details of his family life private, preferring not to put everything in the public eye, the glimpses he does share show a softer, more nurturing side that fans appreciate. There's been some speculation over the years about whether Ryan and Cherish have tied the knot, but the couple have never made a public announcement about getting married. What's clear, though, is the strength of their bond and the way they've built a life that balances the demands of a competitive career with the importance of family. Ryan's fans often admire him not just for his performance on the track, but for his ability to remain humble and connected to what matters most. While family plays a huge role in Ryan's life, his cars are still at the heart of his identity. More than just tools for competition, his vehicles are a reflection of his passion, his technical skill, and his years of experience in both racing and engineering. One car in particular has become almost synonymous with his name, the Fireball Camaro. The Fireball Camaro began as a 2010 Chevrolet Camaro SS. On its own, it was already a strong machine, but Ryan saw its potential for much more. Through extensive modifications, custom engineering, and careful testing, he transformed the vehicle into something far beyond its original form. At its core is a twin turbocharged 622 cubic inch big block Chevrolet engine, a setup capable of producing incredible power. Paired with a Rosler 3-speed automatic transmission, the Fireball delivers its strength in a way that's both aggressive and smooth, a rare balance in the world of street racing. But the engine and transmission are only part of the story. The Fireball Camaro also features a custom-built frame, advanced safety features, and high-performance suspension. It's fitted with oversized rear tires for better grip and stability, especially on unpredictable tracks. Every component, from the brakes to the roll cage, has been selected with safety and performance in mind. For Ryan, it's not just about going fast. It's about making sure the car can handle the speed safely, no matter the conditions. The Fireball has been a key part of Ryan's success on Street Outlaws and No Prep Kings. Its strength, combined with Ryan's calm and focused driving style, helped him earn multiple wins and eventually 3 championship titles. But even the best machines can be pushed to their limits. As fans saw in 2022, Fireball suffered a major crash that nearly ended in tragedy. Still, Ryan walked away, and soon after, he was already rebuilding. That's a testament to both his resilience and the trust he puts in his equipment. Fireball isn't the only car Ryan's known for. Another standout in his collection is a pro-charged Camaro known as Stevie Fast. Like Fireball, it's built for speed, but it also has its own personality and story. Every vehicle Ryan drives brings something new to the track. He approaches each build with the same care and attention to detail, always aiming to improve, adapt, and stay ahead of the competition. Through all of this, Ryan has maintained a strong connection to B&R Performance, the shop he co-founded long before he became a TV personality. The garage continues to serve as a hub for high-performance car builds, and it remains a place where Ryan applies the same principles that first sparked his interest in racing: precision, reliability, and passion. Many fans and fellow racers still turn to B&R for upgrades and advice, knowing that the work done there carries the weight of real racing experience behind it. With his growing fame, Ryan has also had to deal with the downside of being in the public eye, including rumors and false information. One of the more recent examples involved confusion surrounding his well-being. After the tragic death of another Street Outlaws racer, Ryan Fellows, rumors began to circulate online suggesting that Ryan Martin had also died. The news spread quickly, and fans became worried. To set the record straight, Ryan Martin is alive and well. The confusion came about after Ryan Fellows lost his life in a crash while filming for the show in Las Vegas in August 2022. Fellows' car lost control near the finish line, flipped, and caught fire. Despite efforts to save him, he tragically passed away. He was 41 years old and was known for his love of racing, his background in business, and his devotion to family. Following this incident, tributes poured in for Ryan Fellows, and a wave of support went out to his wife Liz and their children. Sadly, during the emotional aftermath, some fans mistakenly believed it was Ryan Martin who had died. Clarification came soon after, but the situation highlighted how quickly misinformation can spread in the digital age. Fortunately, Ryan Martin is continuing to race, work, and spend time with his family. Through the ups and downs, what stands out most about Ryan is his consistency, not just in performance, but in character. He's not the type to chase headlines or court drama. Instead, he focuses on his work, his craft, and the people close to him. In a sport known for its unpredictability, that kind of steady approach has made him not only a standout competitor, but also a respected figure in the racing world. Fans are drawn to Ryan not just for what he does, but for how he does it. Whether he's tuning an engine, helping his team prepare for a big race, or spending time with his partner and son, he shows the same level of commitment and care. He's managed to build a career that balances public attention with private purpose, No small feat in an industry that often demands one or the other. As of now, Ryan Martin remains a central figure in the Street Outlaws universe. He continues to compete in No Prep Kings and other racing events, always looking for ways to improve, evolve, and challenge himself. There's no telling what the future holds. But one thing is certain. Whether he's behind the wheel of Fireball, building a new machine, or just enjoying time at home, Ryan Martin will keep doing what he does best, pushing forward with passion, precision, and purpose.